The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What's up, everyone? Staniel Smooth here. I wanted to show you guys a cool thing we're doing. This podcast is sponsored by Canada Dips, the newest lineup to the dip game, but in CBD form. The Canada Dips lineup features products made for every man's lifestyle. All tins are proudly crafted from the hills of Humboldt County in California. It's filled with flavor and will give you that good vibe that CBD brings to the room. So what are you waiting for? Use the promo code BELLYUP20 in all caps at CanadaDips.com for 20% off your next order. That's BELLYUP20 at CanadaDips.com.
It's time to BS.
Have you guys ever played Fable before? Like the Xbox game?
No.
You've never... Ryan, I'm shocked.
Maybe I did hear of it. I don't know.
Ryan, you've never played Fable?
The last video game system I owned was a Wii.
Do you know that scene in Saving Private Ryan where Matt Damon just turns into a fossil?
Where he turns old? Yeah.
That's just me right now.
Are you saying I'm a fossil?
No, that was me. I'm saying I'm the fossil, you fucker. Do you not see the avocado toast right behind me?
I see the avocado toast behind you, yes.
I have a PS2, GameCube, the Wii, 360.
He's got a lot.
I have too much shit.
He's got a smorgasbord.
I have a smorgasbord.
You're getting married. You gotta
crap.
sell. Yeah, you're getting married in a couple of years. You gotta sell some of that stuff to pay for the wedding, my friend.
No. Denied.
It's gonna happen.
It might happen, but me and my fiance have already compromised that I am getting the big TV here, and she's going to bring her small TV and have her streaming services on that TV. So everyone wins. Welcome to the Department of BS, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Staniel Smooth. I'm coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York. Oh boy! Joining me from the sunny state of California, from the U Stadium, Jack Mitchell.
Hello.
And our lovely guest today, from the Belly of Sports and Belly Up Media Network, a fellow member of the Department of Bullshit, from No Credentials Required, Ryan McCarthy.
Hey, what's happening, folks?
Do you put turtle wax on your head, by chance? That
No,
was a
this is
joke. That was not. That was not.
No, this is 100% shine, my friend. This is all me.
Do you use Old Spice by chance?
I
I know why he's asking that.
I'm not my grandpa, but I know what sound you're going to hear. You're going to play.
He's obsessed.
Power.
I love that sound. Hold on. Let's see what else works here.
Smoke weed every day.
Come on, that's a delightful sound.
Hold up.
Yeah!
Hold up.
Jack coming in clutch as per usual. Oh, boy. We got a lot of shit to get to, ladies and
I don't
gentlemen.
even know what I'm coming in blind. I don't know what we're. The only thing I'm prepared to talk about is the Rams getting that crazy last minute victory over the Cowboys in the preseason. But
Yeah, preseason's going on. We have.
I think there's a game right now, actually.
Oh, shit. Check on your 4 monitors.
My 4 monitor. Yeah, it basically is. If you count my phone, it's 4. So.
You see this face? This is my preseason excitement face.
Ryan is disappointed and hopefully looking forward to a good season for his Jets.
I'm just not a fan of the preseason. I know some people get all jacked up for it because football's. Look, you tell me about the birth. Just show me the baby, okay? Just show me the baby. Show me week 1. Let's get into her.
Show me the baby.
Yeah.
I don't need to see this baby shower. Show me the kid.
Baby's coming in September, so just a few more weeks, and she's here.
And the bun will be out of the oven, they say.
Yeah.
As you can probably tell, Ryan, we are a department of nonsense.
I thought it was BS.
The department of I am the department of BS.
Same difference. Same difference.
Same shit, different toilet.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. We got some preseason football to talk about, some baseball, a little bit of wrestling. We also have a preview of the AFC West to continue the Time to BS NFL preview series. Oh boy, the one time we need Mike and his Broncos bias.
You have me though for the anti-Chargers bias. It's fine.
Listen, Brandon Staley's no longer there, but we can still joke about the Chargers.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Brandon Staley's not there anymore. We can't make fun of the Chargers too much, unless Jim Harbaugh tanks.
Yes,
no, I'm going to make fun of the Chargers. I'm gonna make fun of them forever until I see it.
Fuck you, Spanos.
They should have never moved.
Exactly.
Never moved.
No. So, Ryan, how are your Jets holding up so far? I mean,
there was a fight during inter squad scrimmage today. Michael Clemens threw punches. I'm surprised they didn't bring out his barbed wire bat, like he brought the training camp last year. I mean, other than the Hassan Reddick thing, it can't be drama. It can't be a Jets camp without some drama with the Hassan Reddick thing. But offense seems to be doing all right. Defense is doing their thing.
Yeah.
Just gotta wait till September. I'm just praying that Aaron Rodgers makes it past play 4 on the offensive side.
Oh my
God. All I want.
As a football fan, I was angry when that happened last year. I really, really was looking forward to seeing, as a football fan, what the Jets could do with a competent quarterback.
Yep.
Let me tell you a story. Story time with Ryan. Hey, let's go. So I'm at the gym. So it's about 15 minutes to kick off, New York time, and I'm in upstate New York. So I'm trying to be better about my workouts. I got my workout. Going home, and I got home. My phone was blowing up from Twitter messages. I don't call it X. Twitter messages to text messages to Facebook messages saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay, Ryan?" I'm like, "I'm fine. What happened?" Then I see the ESPN headline: Aaron Rodgers, open parentheses, ankle, close parentheses, questionable to return versus Bills. And I went, oh, already? Then they want to play and win the game. The roller coaster of emotions of that game, I still remember so well. And then the next day, it was revealed that he has a torn Achilles, and it's like, well, that was fun.
The curse lives on.
And to endure another year of Zach Wilson, which no more of that roller coaster.
To be fair, the Jets did have an abysmal offense, but a top 3 defense in football.
Yes.
So if they even remotely had a top 15 offense, they would have made the playoffs.
Yes,
ESPN on my fantasy team last season that won the championship said that the Jets defense was one of my best draft picks.
That defense was insane.
It was
absurd.
I'm going to look on my phone and find the video right now, but it was I don't know what it rated it, but it was one of my top picks was their defense, and it's just ridiculous to me how good that defense was in spite of the year that they had.
Speaking of defense, why wasn't Hassan Reddick signed immediately
Draft day
after
steal? That's what it was.
Immediately after getting traded to the Jets? Because, Jack, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Aaron Rodgers have a $20 million cap hit?
I'll Google that for you. You guys get to hear my loud keyboard again, as always.
Oh, I'm looking too. Because I should know what the cap hit is for Aaron Rodgers.
Because he took a cap hit slice when he got to the Jets anyway.
He did. He took a $35 million pay cut. and his cap hit is currently $38 million.
So
but I'm sorry, 17 mil.
So explain this to me. How come the Jets haven't signed Reddick already?
Because they're the Jets. I mean, I really don't know what to say to that. Like, that's
because Joe Douglas wins. That's why Joe Douglas will win. I mentioned this on the radio show I was on Fox Sports Albany on Tuesday, and I was asked about this question. It's like, why is Hassan Reddick holding out? I said, well, he's got concern. He turns 30 in September. I don't know why he wants to pay. He wants the money he wants. He's 30 years old. He stands to lose. It's his contract right now is a non-guaranteed contract of $14 million. He wants upward of 20. Now, granted, he had a pretty good season last year, 11 sacks with the Eagles, but the Jets already have a couple of good pass rushers on their team. They got Quinn Williams, who is he's the capo for the cap hit this year with 20 mil. Plus, you got Jermaine Johnson, who had a breakout year last year. You got Will McDonald, who was their first-round draft pick in 2023. He stands to have an outstanding season. Like, if he can do what Jermaine Johnson did in 2023, this is going to be sack. This is going to be sack. This is Sack City.
And you also mentioned Michael Clemens earlier, who is an animal and a half.
Yes, Michael Clemens is, but in a good way. But you got Hassan Reddick. That's just a cherry on top of what's already an outstanding defense. But Joe Douglas will always win. Joe Douglas, and as soon as Hassan Reddick said trade me, Joe Douglas came out with a statement saying, "Nah, you're staying."
What a dickhead statement, but I love it.
It's total petty. It's petty, and I love it. I'm here for it. I'm here because Joe Douglas refuses to pay the Jets tax. The Jets tax back in the day was, we're terrible. We got to overpay players to come here. He doesn't do that anymore. I mean, granted, you could say a little bit with Aaron Rodgers, but they gave a second-round pick and a conditional first round, which was actually a second-round pick. If Aaron Rodgers met X amount of snaps, got 4 plays in last year. But Joe Douglas always wins. I mean, Staniel, you're old enough to remember the Jamal Adams trade, right? I'm not saying this because of that trade. I'm just saying it because of the situation that happened before the trade. Jamal Adams wanted to be paid. He was asking for a contract extension. Joe Douglas said no.
Oh God, yeah.
And he held out. It held all the way up until July, and then that day, he got traded to Seattle for 2 first-round picks and a couple other draft picks. And I think I was trying to remember the other player who was involved.
It was 2 firsts, a third, and Bradley McDougald.
Yes, and Bradley McDougald lasted all of, I think,
1 season.
1 season with the Jets, yeah.
Yep.
So Hassan Reddick is not going to win this battle.
No. I mean, another player that's not going to win this battle is Brandon Ayuk. I can see the dangerous, demonic smile that Jack has.
I can't say for sure whether or not Ayuk himself will win, but I'll tell you the 49ers right now will not win because they are the thing that their situation right now is their cap, and they have all these players that they still need to pay.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And if one of them gets paid, that makes it harder for the rest to get paid. And Brock Purdy is not going to want a bridge deal. Brock Purdy is going to want he's going to want to reset the market again, pretty much.
He wants Tua plus money. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He wants Jordan Love type money.
Yeah.
More.
He's going to get more than that.
That alone, by the way, is absurd because Jordan Love has played like 1 full season as a starter, and he's already been. They were what? Where did Green Bay even finish last year?
They finished in the wild. They beat Dallas in the wild card, and they took San Francisco to the limit in the divisional.
They probably should have beaten San Francisco.
I remember they probably should have won that game against San Francisco.
They should have won that game against San Francisco, but the fourth quarter he wilted. He got punched. He He threw 2 picks.
And then he
it.
threw across his body too. Like
Yeah.
I remember being pissed at that one. I was like,
Brett
why
Favre
throw across your body? You don't need the whole big play in one. Like,
Shout out to the 20.
and they reward him by making him the highest paid quarterback currently.
Shout out to Brett Favre in the 2009 NFC title game.
Brett Favre. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, San Francisco, either or, both of
It
these
doesn't
parties.
matter who they pay. If they don't pay one, if the next player they throw money at isn't Brock Purdy, there's a high chance Brock Purdy's moving on.
It's not even just that. It's no matter what, both parties lose here. Brandon Ayuk is, let's face it, if he goes to Pittsburgh, which is where he's projected to be traded to, he's a number 2 receiver for the Steelers. That's flat out what he is. He shouldn't be.
Yeah, but will Russell Wilson or Justin Fields be able to throw him the ball?
No. Okay. This was on the show notes because I have a certain rant that I would like to get on my table. And Jack, you've been on this show for a long time. You know my thoughts on former Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll. And I have a new punching bag.
Oh boy,
Mike Tomlin.
There we go.
Mike
Tomlin's
Tomlin.
your punching bag. All
Mike
right.
Tomlin. Okay, so Mike Tomlin is Pete Carroll of the AFC. He's good. He's a really good head coach. No debate there, right? We can all agree here that Mike
Never
Tomlin
had
is
a losing season.
Mike Tomlin is a great coach. We can all agree here, right? Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin is also probably the biggest reason for holding the Steelers back long term. Now, Ryan, you're old enough to remember this. I'm old enough to remember this. Jack, to be determined. The Steelers do not fire coaches.
No.
They
They
do
don't.
not fire coaches at all. They force them into retirement, quote, shout out Bill Cowher. But for the most part, they do not fire coaches. The Steelers are in the worst possible position possible, which is, hey, we're good enough to get to the playoffs. We're not good enough to win we're maybe good enough to win a playoff game. We're certainly not good enough to get to the AFC Championship game, let alone the Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin does the same stupid shit that you see Pete Carroll do, which is every now and then he throws a play in there or a formation in there that makes you want to blow your ears out and go, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it's the same old cliches over and over again. And I posted a clip on this months and months ago. I said the Steelers will not get better until Tomlin is gone. They won't. And the Ayuk trade might help, but let's be honest, where are they going to finish? 3rd or 4th in the AFC North? Okay, that makes both of us, Ryan. 4th.
4th. And I think this will be what Mike Tomlin's first season. I think it'll be Mike Tomlin's first season under 500.
Probably, yeah.
Never had a season under 500.
Cleveland's
That's going to be absurd.
Cleveland's going to get better. The Ravens are still there, and Cincinnati has Joe Burrow coming back. They're probably going to finish 4th in the AFC North.
My only thing that's making me afraid to definitively say that they're going to finish last is the fact that the Steelers have always been to me that one team that sort of gets ugly wins. They win the ugly games, like the games where your quarterback isn't completing very many passes or your defense isn't really stopping. I guess that's not true.
No, the defense will carry them.
Yeah,
but even during some stretches where the opposing offense is getting touchdowns at the right time, at the end of the day, the Steelers defense, especially too with TJ Watt too, that's got to be mentioned as well because they kind of suck without TJ Watt. But even still, it's
no, even without TJ Watt last year, they were still pretty decent unit.
Yeah.
For as long as I've lived, and I'm pretty sure as long as Staniel has lived, the Steelers have always been about the defense.
yeah.
I mean, it's only been it's only been this century that we've seen offensive stars break out
Yeah.
in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform.
Yeah,
Then
Todd
they're
Haley.
Yeah, well, I mean, Todd Haley was their offensive coordinator twice. I believe he was there both times they won the Super Bowl in 2006 and in 2009.
No, you are incorrect. That was Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians was the offensive coordinator in 2006. No, he was the quarterback coach in 2006, and he was the offensive coordinator in 2008. 05-08. I remember that vividly because my dad's a Steelers fan. I had to watch the Seahawks' first Super Bowl appearance against the Steelers.
So did my co-host Dustin. He remembers vaguely. He says, "I hate that day." He's like, "It was the worst day of my life."
Really shocker. Shocker.
But my point is like,
sorry.
My point though is like, yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. The Steelers, I can't for sure say they're going to finish last yet, just because that's always been sort of their identity. They win the tough games, they win the ugly games. When it feels like they're not going to be able to win, they manage to pull through, and it's like I can't really count out a team or a coach that has made pretty much a career out of being able to do that sort of thing. Again, I agree with you. They're kind of stuck between that realm of like they're not really going to win too many games in the playoffs, but they're not bad enough to miss the playoffs either. It's kind of a tough spot to be in. So I can understand why you're saying maybe a coaching change could be necessary, but I just don't want to write off Tomlin.
However, he just signed a multi-year extension. Even amid the rumors that he was going to be let go after the season because they didn't make the playoffs and they were this close to finishing under 500 for the first time in since my nephew was born in 2002. He's going to be there for a long time. And here's the thing too, guys. Last year, the AFC Central, nobody finished under 500.
Yeah, the AFC
for the first time
ever.
For the first time ever,
yeah.
Nobody finished under 500. It was
Ever.
crazy. That's how good that division is.
Yeah, it's weird. Just to throw out the Steelers' new and improved offensive line, featuring two rookies in Zach Frazier and Troy Fautanu. Shout out Washington. Yep. Broderick Jones is the new left tackle. Isaac Stumoleo is the new left guard. James Daniels is the right guard, and Fautanu is the right tackle. So their offensive line is still... It's weird. Like, their offensive line looks... How would I put this? Competent?
They can keep Russell Wilson and Justin Fields upright. Justin Fields has never had a very good offensive line when he was in Chicago.
Yeah, if
he's running for his life.
If we get later years in Seattle, Russell Wilson, where he's like, okay, I'm just gonna medium pass here, short pass here, deep pass over there, while at the same point still being able to escape. The Steelers will be okay, but they run a 1995 style offense.
Here's my big question. Will Russell Wilson pull a 2022 Russell Wilson in the fact that, and I remember this article from The Athletic, he was still calling plays in the huddle from his Seattle days. Like it was barely, I don't know if he must have not, he and Sean Payton must have not gotten the same page that year of what they want, of what Payton wanted to run. Because he was calling plays from Seattle in the huddle, and everybody's like, what does he mean? That's not in our playbook. No. Are we going to get that Russell Wilson, or are we going to get like you said, 2019 to 2021 Russell Wilson, who did just enough to help his team win?
Arguably MVP candidate each of those 3 years. Probably should have won an MVP, but that's where my rambling stops there.
You could go on all day about that.
I really... No, I don't know about that one. Jack gets crickets. Let's see what we got here. Did you guys see the Titans safety Jamal Adams has massive balls for saying the Seahawks aren't ready for San Francisco? You guys didn't see those articles?
No.
I didn't.
So the Titans and Seahawks have joint practices this week over in Nashville. So the Seahawks...
Don't get me started on joint practices.
Yeah, okay. So, and Jamal Adams, who is a big majority of the problem, for Seattle's abysmal defense. Trash talking the current Seahawks regime, saying you are not ready for San Francisco.
This is my shocked face.
This is oh boy, it's funny. It's just funny to me because he was the big majority of that problem.
Yeah, if you get the name Blitz Boy, that's a bad sign because that tells you he can only do one thing. He did that in New York, and that's what he made his living off of for the 3 years that he was in New York. And then he demanded some money, and he got. See you later.
That wasn't the worst trade the Seahawks ever made.
What was the? You know, I'll ask you, then I'll ask my co-host Dustin when we come back. Actually, no, I'll see him tomorrow night because we're going to a comedy show together. What am I saying?
Hey, who are you seeing?
Dave Landau.
Oh, fuck yeah, you're gonna have a blast.
Yes. I love that. I love his show, Normal World. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorites. Love it.
Jimmy Graham wasn't as bad as I thought it would be because they just didn't use him right.
Okay.
He was a receiving tight end in a blocking system. Had they traded for Rob Gronkowski, different story, but that wasn't happening.
That was never going to happen.
That was never going to happen.
No.
Percy Harvin, you can't say was the worst because they got a Super Bowl out of it, even though he played like 4 games. Sheldon, I could go down the rabbit hole of all the trades that they made in the Schneider era. Justin Coleman was good. Jadeveon Clowney wasn't too bad. The Sheldon Richardson move made no sense. They traded Jermaine Kearse for that. It was like, okay, sure. Yeah,
Kearse underperformed in New York, but then again, he was part of that Shan Gailey offense. No, not Shan Gailey. Shan Gailey left in 2016 after 2016. Jeremy Bates.
Oh my God! Another Seahawk offensive coordinator.
Oh, god awful. The Jets.
The 2009 team. Good Lord.
Not great.
I don't know. You can argue Jimmy Graham was the worst, but he wasn't the worst because that really started the inevitable downfall. Like, okay, this shit isn't gonna last much longer. You can argue the Russell Wilson trade was bad, but it was also really good for them. Because let's be honest here, it opened their eyes.
Well, you didn't have to live through the marvel of the offense that was run by Doa Loggins in 2019 and 2020.
Yeah. Well,
I think he's calling plays for Michigan now.
I think so, yeah.
Let me double check. Let's do some mealtime research.
Jack, how'd the Kings look so far?
South Carolina.
Hey.
I love how you're having me pivot to hockey. There hasn't been anything for hockey lately.
I'm trying to do something here.
You could ask me about the Rams.
No. There was something in hockey the other day.
We'll get to him later. This is going to be funny. We'll get to that later. Jack, What about the Rams?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, wow. I've got a lot of opinions about the Rams so far this preseason, at least. Most of them are good. I'm not really going to complain a lot. I think most of in fact, let's just get the complaining out of the way now.
Here
Stetson
we go.
Bennett. What was that?
4 interceptions.
What the hell was that? You know what that was? That was rust. That was he played in the preseason before last season.
Oh yeah, he hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah, he played a good chunk of those games.
No,
and then he
hasn't played since the national championship game a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say what then happened was he had like a mental issue or something like that. He took a leave of absence to like focus on his mental health or whatever it was, and or at least that's what he said. And then he came back and he was just like, I'm not really sure what's going on above me right now.
I'm sorry. I've got a CFL game on the on one of my tabs. Sorry, and there's a fumble recovery in the first play of the game. So.
Hey, there you go. I thought you were doing like fusion. Huh? Other way.
No. We gotta do it right. Staniel, you got okay.
Fusion.
So I'm here.
God.
Huh? I'm so pissed that the video isn't recording on this thing. Damn it! Jack and his soundboard.
It does say recording hasn't started either.
That's because they're recording through the Roadcaster.
Okay, I gotcha.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, video's a pain in the ass to edit.
Actually, if Jack could get a screen capture.
Too late.
Dang it.
Could have. Whatever.
Too late.
Doesn't
Sorry,
matter.
Jack. Stetson Bennett, 4 interceptions. Hasn't
Yeah,
played
Stetson
since
Bennett,
the
4
national
interceptions.
game last year.
Yeah, and then he throws the game-winning touchdown.
Jesus Christmas. What a fucking disaster we are.
I can't finish my rant because you guys are.
Well, this is the Department of BS after all.
It very much is.
People are going to listen to this and go, what the fuck are these idiots doing?
I can't finish my point because we're laughing too hard at a joke that you can't see.
Can we laugh some more?
Damn coasters.
Can we laugh some more?
Yes.
John Tavares, what the fuck?
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Talk
That too.
about the Toronto media being ruthless.
My rant got cut off. But yeah, no. You're right. I don't think you're right.
The Toronto media is ruthless. Oh, my God. Just in 6 years in Toronto, John Tavares has won 1 playoff series with the Leafs. Granted, that was on the last of the turnstile. That was the Tampa Bay Lightning. But still, there are some Leaf fans that say, oh, this was deserved. John Tavares was never a good leader. Shocker, he was 6 years captain of the Islanders. We all know how that turned out. 1 playoff series win later. In like 3 playoff appearances in his entire tenure with the Islanders. Right guy was the captain. Austin Matthews was the right pick. Right? No?
He's the first American captain for the Toronto Maple Leafs. First American-born captain.
Fun fact of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Fun fact. Yes.
I don't
thank
have
my buddy Clark. Thank my buddy Clark Monroe from the Rob Peterson show for that nugget.
I don't have a sound for that, but I was just going to go with this.
Thank you, Yoshi.
He loves the Yoshi sounds.
You can blame him.
No.
Exactly. No, I don't blame him at all.
It's great. It's delightful. I'm waiting for Jack to counter that sound. Just two dipshits and a guest with 2 of them with soundboards. What a delight. What a delight. Jack,
Can I finish my point about the Rams?
finish your point.
Yes,
Thank
please
you.
do.
Thank you.
We're
Yeah,
waiting
no.
for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, he went off on a rant about John Tavares.
It was like 5 minutes.
I know, right? Anyway, okay. Stetson Bennett, I think he did actually a pretty good job. Obviously, the 4 picks, you can never say was a good thing. I thought he did okay, though. Outside of those 4 picks, I thought he did a good job, finding open men. I thought he scrambled pretty well, too. Like, when he had to get out of the pocket and throw, I thought he did fine. I think the issue, though, was just, he didn't really read as well as he probably could have, because the Rams' O-line, oh my God, I was not expecting that out of their backups at all. Their O-line just completely dominated the Cowboys. It was insane. And I feel like that's where the issue just ends up going back to Stetson, because when you have a clean pocket, we have a squeaky clean pocket almost the whole entire game, and you're still throwing picks, that means you're kind of not really making the right reads. He looks he sees his first read isn't open, and he doesn't even look for a second read. He just tries to force the ball. And I think he's got to do a little bit better of a job at doing that. Because when he's on, like he was at the end of the game, and I think at the start of the game too, he looked pretty good. When he's on, I think he can play pretty competent football. And this is sort of a bit more of an important point for the Rams than I think more people realize, because Stetson Bennett is QB2 for the first 2 weeks of the season. Their backup's Jimmy Garoppolo. He's suspended for the first 2 weeks.
Ha!
So Stafford goes down. We got Stetson Bennett in there for at least the first 2 weeks. And then at that point, I guess I would still have rather the Rams got Carson Wentz back, but I'm okay with Garoppolo for now.
Porn star Jimmy.
Was the PED violation for Viagra?
Keep going. We do know he likes to date them porn stars, you know what I'm saying?
Stop looking for excuses. It's a point of one sound.
Let me have my fun, damn it.
Yeah, no. Most of my complaint is just about what happened with Stetson Bennett. But to be honest with you, I think he'll be able to bounce back. I think that first game was just a lot of rust. He should get most of the snaps this coming Saturday against the Chargers. So I'm looking forward.
I have a question about Jimmy G. So we know his legs are made of glass. What about his third leg?
Oh my God.
You'll fit right in, Ryan. Jack isn't enough of our bullshit already.
Jack is leaving.
He's leaving the room. He's leaving the room.
It was the glass. It was the third leg comment.
I was
just rage quits the whole thing.
I'm out of here.
Fuck you guys.
Screw you, Grandma. It's 3 a.m. I don't want to play this anymore.
Screw you guys. I'm
Mr.
going home.
Krabs, I want to go to bed.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
You guys, I'm going home.
I thought this was America.
Jimmy Garoppolo's third leg is right. Draw the line.
I'm the po-po. You will pet my Thor time.
This is the most unserious.
Jack, let's be honest here.
Wait. Is the Hawk Tua girl the athletic trainer? Yes. Oh, she was the first pitch for the New York Mets today. Did you see that?
Hey, did she spit on the ball?
No spitballs.
Wait, wrong button. Damn it. Jack, let's be honest here. Do you expect anything less? We're not We're not your usual parade of gas bags at ESPN. We are not.
No.
To quote Jared, we are the unique brand of Belly Up. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. That was funny. It was 5 minutes.
Oh my God! The Mets were up 5-0 after 3 innings, and they Hawk tooted away.
All right, that's enough, you.
That sounds like the Mets.
Now you're forcing it.
Yeah, that one was just a little.
Now you're
like,
forcing it.
He was there. I mean, come on.
Now you're forcing it.
Themselves.
Now your best work.
All right.
Oh boy, you tried. You tried. I will give you that, Ryan. You tried.
Good effort.
Oh boy, Jesus Christmas. Okay. Oh man, I gotta. We fun little story time. So.
Hey.
Oh, no.
Oh boy, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened here, but it was high school, I think, and it was lacrosse practice, and it was like a bunch of guys on the team were like getting together or some shit, and one of them came up to me and says, "Yo, Dan, come over here." I'm like, okay, I'm like 16, 17 at the time or some shit. Probably 18, I think. I don't know. But was it lacrosse or football? I can't remember. But it was one of those two. My point is, one of them came out to us and was like, hey, what are the chances that we can get so-and-so in like a spit fest or some shit? It's like, it was fucking stupid. That just, the Hawk Tool girl reminded me of that or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Derail the show. Jack?
Again.
What, spit fest or being spit roasted?
I was spit roasted or some shit? I can't remember. It was something... I can't remember. Anyway, do you guys want to joke about AEW?
Sure, why not? I listen to
There's
Eric,
people on that side of the camera in WWE.
I listened to Eric Bischoff
Oh, boy.
crap on them today.
Oh, so, for what we know, Ricky Starks is expected to join WWE when his contract with AEW expires. And the biggest names to leave, well, potentially leave AEW, are two of some of the founding members of AEW, the Lucha Brothers. They're expected to jump ship for WWE, and this is expected because World Wrestling Entertainment is looking to expand more into the Mexican atmosphere and stuff like that. So that's exciting. Jack, if you haven't seen Penta El Zero Medio from Lucha Underground, I suggest you check out his matches from Lucha Underground, because he gives Gunther a run for his money for his slapping skills.
Oh, great.
No? He's also smaller than Gunther.
I can hear the sound effect already. That's how far off.
Hold on. Damn it, I can't do it. It's hard.
I have a generic slap sound effect.
That's what she said.
Try too hard, Ryan. Delivery.
What?
Delivery.
What she said.
Jesus Christ! All right. AEW has their lead show, AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays, has gone way down the drain in terms of ratings. They went from around 1.2 million less than a year ago, or just over a year ago, to now approaching the under 500,000s in terms of ratings.
Ooh, that's like WCW numbers.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's terrible.
So,
why?
I will give you three reasons.
Oh, please explain.
Tony Khan, Matt, and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks.
No, that's three right there.
Actually, there's a fourth one. That's Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho. Long Island's own, by the way, Chris Jericho from Manhasset.
By way of Winnipeg.
Okay. Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho gives early TNA's Jeff Jarrett a run for his money in terms of the most hated man in wrestling, and someone who I've never wanted to see retire more than this guy. Chris Jericho makes me look like a professional athlete. That is sad. And every time I see this man on TV, I want to throw something. Because now he's the FTW champion by way of Taz. By pinning Hook to win the title. He's now the learning tree, Chris Jericho. How many gimmicks does this man have?
Hold on. Let me think. Lionheart.
And just in AEW alone.
Heel Jericho. No, I'm going back to WCW.
Oh, we're going
Lionheart,
back to the 90s. All
I'm
right.
going all the way back. I'm going all the way back.
Oh, then you'll love
Lionheart, Heel Jericho, WWE Jericho. Then you had Best in the World. Then the Best Friends made the list. Then he was in NJPW with the Painmaker. Inner Circle, Jericho Appreciation Society. Now the Learning Tree. I counted 9.
The list of Jericho is my favorite gimmick of that entire thing.
Oh, I count that as part of the heel gimmick.
I love that. I love the list of Jericho.
But the list of Jericho is
so great.
Legendary. Armbar!
You just made the list. Where's my pen?
You are going to get it.
But Chris Jericho has to find some way, shape, or form to put himself over. He reminds me so much of TNA Hulk Hogan. AEW's ratings and AEW's in-ring performance and their acts and promos and whatever the fuck gives Vince Russo a run for his money. Jack, you don't know who Vince Russo is yet.
No.
Vince Russo.
You're going to learn today.
You're going to learn. So Vince
Apparently
Russo.
so.
Vince Russo got his big name by accidentally tripping on the two biggest stars in wrestling entertainment at that time. Oh, you know, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Literally just piggybacked off that, scrambled to WCW and tore that company down. If you were to pin one man onto WCW's downfall, it's him. If you were to put any singular blame, yes, Ryan?
There's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, boy.
The conspiracy theory is that Vince McMahon deliberately released Vince Russo
I've heard of this.
and let him join WCW. And the rest is history.
I've heard of this. And then Vince Russo went to TNA. At the time, it was just NWA TNA from 2001 and then 2003. Then Jim Cornette gets hired, by the way. Should be in the Hall of Fame. And then from 2006 to 2010, I want to say, Vince Russo destroys that company. Amazingly, TNA is still around. Amazingly. But let's just say his gimmicks and his writing skills, not great. Jack, not great. So
he also ends just about every sentence with the word bro. Or begins every sentence with the word bro.
Jesus.
I mean, just go listen to Talk is Jericho when Vince Russo was on.
Oh.
If I had a shot for every time Vince Russo said the word bro, I would not be on this podcast today.
It was so bad.
It was terrible.
So bad. But AEW, like, how... let me ask you this, Ryan. Mm-hmm. You're probably the more wrestler junkie out of the three of us here, like, in terms of history.
Yeah.
How do you
I am the oldest of us three, so...
Yeah.
So, yes.
No offense, it's true that.
No, I don't know. That's quite all right. I feel honored.
There you go.
Honored, not insulted.
Jack is just sitting there, just like vibing and shit.
You guys are going off on your rants. I don't know enough to interject.
How do you think, Ryan, AEW can get better in terms of the ratings?
I don't know if I have an answer for that. I don't know if Jericho's to blame. I know, well, Nick and Matt Jackson are the EVPs, literal EVPs of the company. Are they the ones handling the storylines for every single person in that company? I think part of it is they signed too much talent.
Yeah,
they signed way too much talent in the beginning because they were trying to claim every bitter, every pissed off person from WWE who had a bad relationship with Vince McMahon at the time, or had their relationship sour with him, or wasn't getting the creative that they wanted at WWE, and they figured they'd go to AEW, and then almost called WCW, AEW, and not only collect a paycheck for doing 2 shows a week, maybe 3 shows a week, but also having creative control. And when you have too many wrestlers having their own creative control, chaos reigns. Chaos reigns. And I don't know if part of the Chris Jericho thing is because of the allegations made against him about his interactions with a female wrestler. I thought he was a pretty decent guy until those allegations came out. But yeah, when it's time to, you should know when it's time to go.
Ric Flair
didn't know when it was time to go, and he was still wrestling in his 70s, even after major heart surgery. And even now, he's still saying, "Yeah, that match I had, it wasn't my best match, and I want another one." It's like, dude, you gotta let go of the ghost at some point. And look at Chris Jericho. Look what he's done outside the ring. He's got a successful podcast. He's got his band. He's touring. He's got his cruise. When is enough enough?
You know what meme reminds me of the Young Bucks? And I can't help but play this meme. So this is courtesy of South Park.
Uh-oh, retard alert!
Mr. Garrison.
I'm so glad that went through.
Oh my gosh.
I played that on my phone. To the roadcaster.
Oh.
Screw you, YouTube. We can have fun.
You know what though? I have a story about the South Park guys, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. So I did a school project I did a school project, and the school project was a film project, and I used the montage music from Team America World Police. And the montage being, gotta have a montage. Sports training montage. I used that as part of the music. I did not get a copyright strike.
Amazing.
They're like, use it. They're like, absolutely go for it. Like anybody who uses their music, they're like, yeah, absolutely go for it. They don't care.
Oh, boy.
They don't care.
Jack. SmackDown highlights.
SmackDown highlights. Oh boy. From last week or for tomorrow?
From last week. So Santos Escobar returns to challenge LA Knight for the United States title.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
LA Knight should kick his ass.
Oh, he should. Am I going to get copyright strike if I play the theme song? Guess I will. Most likely. Trying to find a sound.
I thought it was if you play it for...
Wait, the new or the old?
The old, both. I don't.
The new one's not out yet.
The new one
should be out soon. The new one.
Oh, okay. So I know Solo Sikoa's new one is on Spotify right now.
Romans?
Solo.
Solo got a new theme?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well, when he became I'm putting air quotes, tribal chief.
Oh, he's had that one.
I didn't think he got a new... That's been his song, I thought. That's always been his song.
No, that was that new one came out when he became tribal chief. The one he currently has. One before has been retired. He's had like 3 or 4 different ones from NXT all the way up until now.
My brain hurts. Anyway, Jack.
Well, it was his song in WWE 2K24, and that came out before he became the tribal chief. So
anyway,
Santos
Escobar loses to LA Knight, hopefully in Berlin, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Randy Orton and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at Bash in Berlin. Hopefully that's the main event.
I will be rooting for Randy Orton, but to be honest with you, it would be really stupid if that was the short reign for Gunther, because my thing is that in that botch moment, that is why that this is now a feud. Randy I feel like they would be doing him right to give him this title, but at the same time, it would just be really stupid for Gunther, and that's kind of why I was like rooting against Gunther at SummerSlam, but it made the most sense for the Judgment Day, for the current storylines going on with the Judgment Day. But at the same time, it's like maybe you have Priest keep his title for a little bit longer, for at least one more PLE, and then Randy would go up against Gunther at Bash instead. Although I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing at this point, because it's like one guy is going to get screwed over here. Either Randy Orton's going to lose and he's going to get screwed again because he already got screwed by the botch. He wasn't pinned to the mat. He had his shoulder up. And either that happens, or if Randy wins the title, then Gunther's reign only lasts up until like one PLE cycle. So it's like,
no, I think Trips wants to extend out every reign, every title reign for at least a good 6 months from now.
Exactly.
I mean, Roman Reigns' title reign was what, 4 years?
Nearly
1,316 days.
Nearly just over 1,300 days. Yes.
Okay. And Rhodes' title reign has been
Couple months now.
roughly
couple months, yeah.
4 months. 4 months. So he's going
and people are starting to turn on Cody, which is weird because
it's all social media.
No,
it's just on social media.
No, but it should be an organic progression into a heel turn.
Homelander?
It's got to be.
Has to be. Speaking of...
I don't think it should happen, but that's probably where
Speaking
they're
of
going.
Cody Rhodes, we have the Undisputed title match is official. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed title of Bash in Berlin. I smell heel turn.
For
Kevin
Cody
Owens.
or for Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's pretty likely actually, because you think about what happened like when he cut that promo on SmackDown, and I thought that was one of his best promos when he said like when he said like, hold on a second, you're gonna give Roman a title shot instantly when there's so many other people that deserve it. It's like, I really like that promo that KO cut. So it's like,
yeah,
I guess it kind of does make sense, but I don't really like the idea of those guys fighting each other after, like, KO has been by Cody's side pretty much the whole time through this Bloodline feud. So it's like, I don't know. I don't like it. I would hate to see KO lose that fight too at the same time. But
No, but I have a feeling there's going to be a Bloodline interference during that match.
yeah.
it could be. So I think where the Bloodline story specifically, if we can pivot to that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think where that's going is I think we're building up towards The Rock making a potential comeback soon, because I'm kind of in agreement with this theory that I saw on Twitter where someone said that like they went all the way back to Paul Heyman and his reaction to when Solo revealed that he was in possession of the Ulafala, and it's like he was like, where did you get that? And the theory was that only like a higher power up could possibly have given him the Ulafala, and some people are saying it was The Rock who gave it to Solo because he no longer believes in Roman.
Only makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think what's going to happen is it could be eventually revealed at some point down the line that Solo this whole time was working for The Rock, and that's what leads into this feud, this Bloodline Civil War. And I'm kind of wondering maybe Jey Uso and Sami Zayn get involved somehow, because they've been starting to team up a lot.
And Jimmy comes back.
Jimmy too when he comes back, because Sami Zayn and Jey Uso have been teaming up a lot together as of late on Raw. So, and it kind of based on what happened after the last Raw too, because there was that 2 out of 3 falls match between Sami and Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title, and after Braun Breaker retained, Raw goes off the air, and the two of them are kind of standing in the ring, just like looking at each other. They're given, it's like one of those respectful stare downs. It's like, yeah, I respect this rivalry. I respect you, even though we've beaten the shit out of each other as of late. It's like, yeah, there's that they've left with kind of that mutual respect after Raw went off the air. So I kind of feel like that feud might be dead. So, and now it's pretty clear that Jay and Sammy want to team up and go for a tag team title soon. So,
speaking of Braun Breaker, how long do you think that title reign lasts? Because so far, I don't think it.
I'm not really sure who else is going to challenge for the Intercontinental title. My gut, I think that I would have enjoyed watching Jey Uso do that, but obviously he's not. I think, like I said, I think he and Sami are focused on a tag team title, but I think Jey Uso deserves it the most of anyone right now.
Oh, I
because you
have
see
a
how
contender.
over he is.
I have a contender.
You have a contender?
I have a very, very good contender. Bronson Reed.
Otis. Oh, Bronson Reed. Okay.
Bronson Reed. God, I was pissed off on Raw watching Bronson Reed go after my boy R-Truth.
Speaking of Bronson
I
Reed and Braun
hated
Baker,
watching that.
you know what that match is? That is a Big E Certified Classic.
See, two big men
Oh God.
with big with big chests.
Are we letting this sound continue the whole time? Are we really doing that?
Big meat, man, slap meat.
Big Ben slapping
Long
men.
son of a...
Or as my one of my favorite commentators, Simon Miller, says, is Big Ben slapping man meat. Meat mania.
Meat.
You guys sound like Pat McAfee.
Oh, God, let's have some fun, Jack. Be serious, won't you?
Going downtown.
Oh, where do we leave? We mentioned Roman. We mentioned The Rock earlier, and Roman's babyface run so far has been an instant success. No, copyright,
I
Jack.
got copyright. I was just playing it for a second.
Copyright. We got flagged. Don't flag this channel again, Jack. Don't do me in.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. If this gets flagged because I played this theme for 1 second, that's YouTube's problem. That's not your problem.
That is a YouTube problem. Yes,
That's
That is
on
a
YouTube.
problem.
that is a YouTube problem.
Their AI is. Eesh.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, Roman Reigns did actually the unthinkable at this particular point. He's more over than the top babyface in the entire company, Cody Rhodes. He did that in less than a month. Less than a
Triple
month.
H was able to get him to be a babyface in like what, 2 months?
Yeah.
And WWE as a whole, before Triple H was in charge, has been trying to do that since like what, 2014 earlier.
Well, Roman, I spoke to you about this on the previous episode we did. Roman was overbooked, overpushed by a regime that was trying to find their next John Cena. Vince was trying to find the next John Cena, and they found it now in Cody. But at the same point, like Roman is as big as he's ever been.
He is, and I think I love it too, because it's like I don't really pick a side in Roman versus Cody. I'm enjoying watching it all play out, because it's like, I don't know, it's just fun to have to be a bit more neutral and like not have like, I don't know where my sense is going, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
I know
like,
what you're saying, Ryan.
yeah.
Oh, I agree with both of you. You know, and I think the Bloodline story, how it played out, and having him leave for 4 months,
It's perfect.
it was just, it was.
It made you realize we actually like really do appreciate what Roman Reigns has become as of late.
Yeah, he needed to grow as a character, and when you're trying to make the next John Cena, you can't just artificially make him into the next John Cena. You gotta make him. You have to have him mature. You have to have him see. Some wrestlers are microwave ovens, where they get hot real quick. Their popularity, it grows real quick. LA Knight, for example, very popular very quickly. You have some wrestlers who are crockpots. It takes them a little bit longer for their character to develop. Roman Reigns is an example of that.
Cody's another great example.
Cody's a
Rhodes
perfect
is
example.
another
Cody was a
example of that.
punching
He had to
bag
leave
his
the
first
company.
run.
He had to leave the company in order to mature and become better as a wrestler, get his name out there. When he was in the Indies and in New Japan and
Ring of Honor.
AEW.
I remember.
Ring of Honor. Yep.
I remember seeing like he did like an interview with I think it was GQ or whatever, and he talked about like how it was like unheard of at the time to quit. He said like people were like either in the company for life or you got fired, but nobody ever just straight up said I'm quitting and going around and like
he bet on himself.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He bet on himself and it worked out.
Good on him.
One guy who bet on himself.
And good on him. And
it worked out. He finished the story. I'll say the obligatory line there.
Can we also agree here that the best thing to happen to Roman Reigns' career was aligning with Paul Heyman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Without even question.
It had to happen. It had to happen.
Without even a question. When I saw that initial thing, when I saw that initial camera turn happen, when Paul Heyman was sitting next to Roman, I jumped out of my seat. I was like, oh my God, they actually did it. They turned this son of a bitch heel. And it worked. It worked. He was universally hated, but also appreciated. Like, okay, this character, granted, created by Vince, worked. It worked.
It did. And it continued to work. And then I think people realized over the last few months, too, while he was gone, it's like you really, like, it's another one of those things where, like, you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. And they did appreciate it at first when they realized, like, what his character was becoming. And the next thing you know, it's like he really is, like, that. He is that dude, and it's like we didn't have that. We had this discount Roman with Solo Sikoa. It's like
he saved the Universal title. The Universal title was a cursed belt when Roman relinquished it, and then it was a cursed belt, and then Roman essentially made it the top belt in the entire company.
That's how I view it.
Well, it's been, I wouldn't say it's a cursed belt, but it's been badly booked since the beginning. I mean, Finn Balor had to relinquish it the next night because of injury. It was a curse in that way. And then, was it Seth Rollins' title for a bit?
I remember from the back, I noticed in the back of my head. It was Kevin Owens won it in a four-way eliminator match.
Yep, on Raw.
On Raw. And then he dropped it to Goldberg.
Yep.
Who then dropped it to Brock Lesnar. Who then dropped it to
Drew McIntyre?
No, Roman. He dropped it to Roman after SummerSlam 2018.
Okay.
He held the title for a long time. And then Roman dropped it to battle leukemia, and then Brock won it again, who then lost it to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 35. Brock Lesnar cashes in Money in the Bank. Fact check me, please. Brock Lesnar cashes in Money in the Bank on Seth, wins the title for the third time, and then Seth wins it at SummerSlam that year, who then loses it to The Fiend, who then proceeds to drop it to Goldberg again.
I'm looking for the lineage.
I got it. So it's Finn Balor vacated the next night.
Yep.
Then Kevin Owens the next week. He holds it for, August 29th to March 5th. So 6.5 months. Goldberg drops it to Lesnar. Lesnar drops it to Reigns a year and 4 months later. Vacated 2 months later. Brock Lesnar wins it again at Crown Jewel. He beat Braun Strowman for that title. Then Seth Rollins wins it at Mania 35.
Yep.
Lesnar wins it back 3 months later at Extreme Rules.
Yep.
And Seth Rollins wins it again at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Then The Fiend Bray Wyatt wins it at Crown Jewel.
I love that gimmick so much.
October. Yeah.
That gimmick was awesome.
Goldberg wins it at the Super Show down in Riyadh in February 2020.
And then Braun Strowman won it over Goldberg at WrestleMania 36.
Then Bray, then Roman, then Cody.
Roman holds it from August 30th, 2020 to April 7th, 2024. So roughly a little over 3.5 years.
Yeah. So, and for that, like the period of time when Goldberg won it the second time to Braun Strowman to Bray and then to Roman the second time, it was like, okay, it was essentially viewed as a mid-card world title.
Right.
Which was a shame. And then Roman essentially, quotes here, saved the belt.
I will say this, for all the bad booking that Vince McMahon had done since, I would say, roughly since the PG era began, this is the one that hit.
Yeah.
Was Roman Reigns. Was Roman Reigns' bloodline and the long title reign. That's the one that hit. That finally hit.
Finally.
Why are we not? I'm very curious as to why they're not they're everything I'm reading about this title, like the undisputed title, clearly says that it's like a unification, but I'm confused why they're not still calling it the undisputed universal title with Cody. They're just calling it the undisputed title.
Because
is there a reason for that?
The universal title was technically retired, which when the belt first came out, I was like, "Whoa, pretty."
I don't know if I should trust Wikipedia here then.
No, not in that realm.
It says they're both titles independently are active, but I just see it as a unification. And
I love that belt. The undisputed title belt looks so pretty.
Yeah, I want that belt, to be honest. I don't have the money for it, but
the World Heavyweight title belt, the first go around with the big gold belt, the WCW belt, beautiful. Why are you giving me that look, Ryan?
Oh, I'm not giving you a look. I'm watching a game. Sorry.
Okay, Jesus.
You're fine.
Okay, thank God. I'm getting
Actually, there was one belt. If there's one belt I would like to have in my to own, it's Hulk Hogan. It's not the one that Hulk Hogan held, but the style that he had.
Ooh, I got one for you. The TNA Heavyweight Championship. Before when Bobby Roode held the belt. That belt is gorgeous. Jack?
TNA. What's it called? TNA?
The TNA World Heavyweight Championship. When Bobby Roode held the belt. It was beautiful. It had a white strap. It was a black or a white strap.
It looks like white.
It was gorgeous.
Is it this one that says TNA Wrestling Heavyweight Champion in big text on the front?
Yes, that one. It's gold.
I don't love that one. It's all right.
I'm looking at it now.
I like it. I love that belt.
From 2011 to 2017?
Yes.
I don't think there's enough color variation. 2011 to 2017?
Yep.
That was a beautiful belt.
That's not bad.
Technically, AJ Styles, speaking of TNA, if you were to count the NWA title reigns, is a 12-time world champion.
Good on him.
12? Is he 7-time NWA champion, 3 or 4-time TNA champion, and 2-time WWE champion? He's a 13-time world champion.
There's one guy who needs to go on a title run before he retires. It's that guy.
Yes. Yes. I second that.
And he should win it from Gunther at WrestleMania next year.
Do I suggest a Royal Rumble win?
No, I think Gunther would escape at Royal Rumble.
No. I mean, AJ Styles wins the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because me and Jack had a theory. Roman Reigns wins the Rumble in Indianapolis. Challenges Cody for the title. Too generic?
Would you have a 3-way with him and The Rock?
I would not make it a triple threat. I would not.
Winner gets the Universal title and the People's Championship.
Jesus Christmas.
Good Lord.
God.
Can I hold your belt? You can hold mine.
Can I hold it?
This is awkward.
Touch belts.
This is awkward.
Touch belts. Oh, boy. You guys ready to do an AFC West preview?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I suppose.
Oh, boy. We'll have fun with this also. Jesus, you. We start things off with the Las Vegas Raiders, who finished last season with where the hell did I put it? An 8-9 record. Fired... What was it? They fired Josh McDaniels partially through the season. Antonio Pierce was named the interim head coach and then later the full-time head coach. I don't know where the Raiders go here. because part of me thinks that the Raiders will be better than where they were. Part of me also thinks this is the worst team in the AFC West. Jack, what do you think?
It's between them and the Broncos for the bottom spot, honestly.
I don't know.
I think there is, yeah. I mean, I think the Broncos might build on I think they're more likely to build on what they did last year versus the Raiders. I think the Raiders are just like, there's no, I don't even know what there is. I don't know what there is to offer with this team this year. Like, there's not.
Well, Vegas has Tyree Wilson, who's not bad. Max Crosby, who's an animal and a half.
Crosby's a beast, yeah.
Crosby's an animal. That's a trade target if anyone is interested. Robert Spillane is also not that bad. Colton Miller's a very good left tackle.
They brought in Christian Wilkins from Miami, too.
Hey, that's a massive contract.
Big contract.
Some people are saying that the Raiders trade Devontae Adams. I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either. I don't think they should.
Let's talk to the resident Jet fan here in the chat.
So, oddly enough, talking about Devontae Adams, shameless plug, I wrote an article about said topic on bellyupsports.com. This actually, I think it was the last article I wrote for them because I've been just so concentrated on the podcast side. I haven't been able to write articles a whole lot recently. But I said it depends on where the Raiders are after week 9. Their schedule for the first 9 weeks is rough.
Yeah.
Here's their schedule. At the Chargers, at the Ravens, home against Carolina. They should beat Carolina. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Home against Cleveland, at Denver. They should beat Denver. At home against Pittsburgh. At the Rams. Home against the Chiefs on Sunday. Home against the Chiefs. And then at Cincinnati. And that's the bye week. And then the bye week comes. If they're 2-7, and the last game, the trade deadline is after week 9. So on election day, November 5th is going to be the trade deadline. If they're 2-7 at that point and they're just treading water, and I mean, and after that, schedule doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any easier.
No.
First game after they come back from the bye is at Miami.
Oh, boy.
Home against Denver, at Kansas City, at Tampa, home against the Falcons, home against the Jaguars, at the Saints, and they end their season against the Chargers. I mean, you can get. I mean, the Raiders are improved. It was a smart decision by Mark Davis, and that's saying a lot because when they fired
McDaniels.
Well, I'm thinking about. Okay, so I'm going back to the John Gruden year. I'm going back to the year when John Gruden had to be let go because of the controversy with him. Rich Pisaglia took over for that team. They went up a wild card spot. I said extend Rich Pisaglia. Mark Davis let him go to Green Bay, become their special teams coach. Brought in McDaniel. That was a train wreck. Fired McDaniel. Brought in Antonio Pierce. Promoted him from the linebackers coach. At the end of the season, every player was like, if he doesn't stay as head coach, this is a mistake. This is a mistake.
Yeah.
And Mark Davis had the good sense to treat Antonio Pierce to lunch at P.F. Chang's and say, hey, want to stick around and take that interim title off? You're the permanent head coach now.
Hey, there you go. So I think the Raiders finish 5-12.
I was thinking more like 6-11 or 7-10.
Jack, how about you?
Raiders record. I know you just went over their schedule. I'm trying to look. I need to look at it one more time.
I mean, granted, the Raiders have a pretty solid defense. That Antonio Pierce built that defense. It's all going to happen on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. And Minshew's not bad.
Minshew's not bad, but it's Aiden O'Connell your guy.
Yeah.
And again, who knows what's going to happen after week 9 what the record's going to be. If they're 2-7, I think it's time to start shedding some weight.
I think 6 wins. 6 wins, honestly, might be their ceiling.
We might see 2 massive trades from the Raiders. We might see Devontae, and we might see a Max Crosby trade. But then again, Crosby is the Raiders. That's the franchise.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think so either.
No,
but you might.
Happen.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's a hunch. We now continue the preview with the Los Angeles Chargers, who finished last season with a 5-12 record, despite I don't even know despite anything. Let's be honest here. That team was a disaster and a half. Brandon Staley was rightfully let go after a 40-point blowout to the Raiders, and from there it just went. It didn't go so well. So
you played like a team without a head coach.
Yeah, notable departures are Keenan Allen, who was traded to the Bears, Mike Williams, who was released and then signed with the Jets, and that's about it. Like, they didn't have a ton of departures. They signed a bunch of guys. They brought back Denzel Perryman. They brought in Poona Ford. They brought in Christian Fulton from the Titans, Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, both from the Ravens, Will Dissly and Hayden Hurst, 2 tight ends who were cut, and DJ Chark from the Panthers at wide receiver. Yeah, and also Bradley Bozeman. Speaking of Carolina, the most notable addition they made was the new head coach, Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh spent several years with the University of Michigan. He's now in his second go-around as an NFL head coach. But I'm going to... Jack, where do you think the Chargers go from here?
What do you mean by this?
How do you think the Chargers will finish in 2024? Because we won't dispute that Harbaugh can coach.
No. I'm not gonna say that Harbaugh can't coach, but good luck to a guy who's trying to remove what feels like one of the most permanent losing cultures in the entire league.
Yeah, he did it with San Francisco. Give him credit.
Still didn't get a ring out of it.
No, still didn't get a ring out of it. But this is a more daunting task. You're right. It is the Chargers, which have been perennial punching bags for all but 50 years.
And I think that continues this year, to be honest, because they are they're a future-oriented team right now, it feels like, because you saw all the pieces they let go, and Justin Herbert is going to be... I don't know how much this is going to affect him, but he was dealing with an injury in training camp.
That's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, it's like... I don't know. My expectations for the Chargers are just the same as they always have been. Yes, Harbaugh is obviously a pretty big hire, significant hire, big name.
Massive hire.
And obviously, I don't even think I need to say it, but I will anyway. Huge upgrade over Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just a matter of can you really well and truly change that perennial losing culture?
Yeah, it's the Chargers. That's the problem.
At the Chargers. It's it's one of those things where I'm not willing to believe it until I see it. So I don't expect the Chargers to really make a whole lot of noise this coming season. It's bad enough when you put it that way, and then you don't even and when you throw in on top of the fact that they're down Keenan Allen, they're down Mike Williams. Is Austin Eckler still there?
No, he's in Washington.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, no. There should be very low expectations for the Chargers, I think.
Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins are not backup enterprises.
No, not terrible.
Can J.K. Dobbins stay in the field, though?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Shout out his reconstructed knee 3 times over.
And his Achilles.
Ryan, where do you think the Chargers finish?
Oh, Lord. This is going to be... Look, their defense is going to stand out. This is a good defense. You got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa harassing the quarterback. They're going to keep you in games. They got ball hawks in Asante Samuel and Derwin James Jr. They're going to be all right on the defensive side of the ball. Offense,
however, their two tackles, Slater and Alt, they're really good.
Yes, and I think Jim Harbaugh is going to try to bring the same type of offensive scheme that he had in Michigan and he's had in San Francisco when he was 49ers head coach. But will it work with Justin Herbert as quarterback? Justin Herbert's a gunslinger. He's got a great arm. But your receiving core is DJ Chark, Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnson, Ladd McConkey,
who was a disaster.
Ladd McConkey's going to play slot. I don't know what to make of this offense. Sure, great. Rashawn Slater, great tackle. Joe Alt, there's a reason why he was drafted 5th overall. But this is going to be there's going to be some growing pains, especially since looking at the schedule, the Chargers have a week 5 bye week. And that usually spells disaster for teams if you have a bye week that early in the year.
Fuck you, Spanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fact, too, that they have a coach who, yes, Harbaugh's a big name. Yes, he can coach, but he hasn't been in the NFL for God knows how long.
And he didn't do too bad of a job when he was in San Francisco. He was just – the only reason why I think part of the reason why he fled to Michigan was because, A, he's an alumni, and B, they gave him a bag of money.
And also because Jed York –
taxpayers.
Also because Jed York, the owner of the Niners, is a mega douche.
Also, he got when you get that baggage known as Colin Kaepernick, who still says I can play in the NFL, and you're 36 years old. Sorry,
Harbaugh wants to hire him, by the way.
My God.
Harbaugh wants to hire him as an assistant. Okay, great, good for him. They're dudes. I get it, but you have that baggage on you. It's going to be costly. The first time he kneels in the field during the Star Spangled Banner, you know me is going to come after you. But this is going to be a really bad year for the Chargers. If they can get 5 wins, good for them. Their defense is going to win this. Their defense is probably going to win them some games. And depending on the health of Justin Herbert and with the offensive personnel he has around him, I mean, the offensive line withstanding, your skill position it's not Eckler, it's not Williams, and it's also not Allen.
Yeah.
You're going to struggle.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Denver Broncos, who finished no kidding, right? Who finished last season amazingly with an 8-9 win, with an 8-9 season. Noticeable losses are Jerry Jeudy and Russell Wilson, and other than that, really not crazy. And Justin Simmons as well. Forgot about him. He signed with the Falcons today. Noticeable additions.
No.
So we have Bo Nix, their first-round pick. John Franklin Myers in a trade with the Jets. Don't know why they got rid of him.
Love John Franklin Myers. I don't know why the Rams got rid of him in the first place.
Cody Barton from Washington. Brandon Jones from the Dolphins. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Their receiving core is... I love their receiving core. Cortland Sutton, Josh Reynolds is also from... They got him from Detroit. Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, 4th-round pick from Oregon. Tim Patrick's still there. And I don't... Here's why I think Denver's going to go. They had to get rid of the Wilson contract simply because it was just an albatross of a disaster. Bo Nix is a really good player. Bo Nix is a fantastic quarterback from Oregon. Whether or not he fits the Peyton scheme, I don't know. We need to see week one. Oh, conveniently enough, they play the Seahawks week 1.
Yeah.
Chaos will ensue. Anyway.
Chaos.
So much chaos. The defense, Alex Singleton, Jonathan Cooper, Cody Barton, Baron Browning, the linebackers are good. DJ Jones, Franklin Myers, and Zach Allen. The D-line's not bad. Pat Surtain might as well be the best corner in the entire league. And the secondary is where I have a problem. Because unless that front seven gets after everyone, that secondary is going to get torn apart outside of Pat Surtain. So, will they improve from last season? Yes. By how much? Not that much. 9 wins at the most.
You know, the crazy fact from last year was that at one point during the season, the Broncos were a game outside of first place in the AFC West.
Crazy shit.
Yeah. Chaos, baby.
Chaos. So much chaos.
And then they took a sharp nosedive and finished with the record they had, and they shut down Russell Wilson with a month left to go in the season.
To be fair, that was incoming.
Yeah, that was incoming.
That was incoming. Sean Payton, they will live and die by Sean Payton. Right? Is that fair to say?
No, that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Jack, where do you think the Broncos will finish in 2024?
I don't know. I think they're, honestly, of the 3 teams that we've talked about so far, they're the best one. It feels like, but it's like not really saying that.
They're the most improved out of the 3 of them.
Sure, that's fair.
They're definitely the most improved.
But their quarterback room. But their quarterback room.
Bo Nix is Bo Nix out of all of them is like, hey, I'm just here, guys. I'm just here to play.
Jared Stidham, Zach Wilson, Bo Nix. At your quarterback room.
Bo Nix starts week 1?
No, I think Jared Stidham starts week 1, but I think Bo Nix will make an appearance during the season at some point. The thing that's saving the schedule for the Broncos, they have a week 14 bye. They don't have a bye week until December.
Thank God.
Now, after that, it depending on how they'll finish is, I mean, here's their schedule. Week 1 at Seattle. Week 2, Pittsburgh. Week 3 at Tampa. Week 4 at the Jets. I don't know how the Seahawks are going to. That's a toss-up right there because I don't know what Seattle's going to be. Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. Tampa, I could see them winning the NFC South. But
unless if Atlanta decides to show up.
That's another story.
Yeah.
It depends on which Baker Mayfield shows up, and then they're at the Jets, which is not going to be an easy game. And praise the Lord that their game against the Jets is at MetLife this year and not Mile High, because the last 2 seasons at Mile High, Elijah Vera Tucker's season has ended prematurely. 2022 with a triceps injury, 2023 torn Achilles.
Yeah.
But then the schedule gets a little easier.
Yeah.
Raiders, Chargers, 2 home games at New Orleans. Because remember, this year the AFC West plays the NFC South. So then they're at New Orleans, which is a Thursday game. Home against Carolina, at Baltimore, which is not going to be an easy game. Then this is what's going to happen with the schedule from here. At Kansas City, at home against Atlanta, at the Raiders, Cleveland, bye week, Indy when they come back from the bye week, Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs again. So I could see them winning 7 or 8 games here, depending on who's at quarterback.
Yeah.
But I think if they're out of playoff contention by the bye week, then I think they ride with Bo Nix the rest of the season.
Because he has talent.
He does have talent.
He has a lot of. He was a Heisman frontrunner for a majority of last season of college football.
Yes, I believe he was a finalist too.
He was a finalist. Yes. It ended up going to Jane Daniels, but it was him, Daniels, and Penix for the Heisman.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I was in the department that said Penix should have won, but that's just me. Between 8 and 10. 8 and 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think.
Fair.
Next up, we have the most bandwagon team in the entire in the entire sport, overtaking the New England Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
The Kansas City Swifties, I mean Chiefs.
Oh, you could argue the Steelers too.
Nah.
Listen, up in the capital region where I am, there's a large contingency of Steelers fans.
That I believe. That I can
Steelers
absolutely
fans
believe.
travel very, very well.
Raider
That too.
Nation also travels, I found out, very well.
Well, the thing is, I think Steeler fans travel better than Raider fans because I remember watching a Raiders-Steelers game at one point, and Pat Freiermuth made a catch, and you could hear really loud "Muth." So it's like, yeah, I think Steeler fans are like I think you look at the top 5 traveling fan bases in the NFL.
Yeah.
Packers, Niners, sadly, Steelers, Raiders, Cowboys. Any particular order. Those are like the top.
Can we all
Traveling
agree here
families.
that Kansas City is probably going to finish with a top 2 seed in the AFC?
Yes.
The Chiefs, I have them sadly again in the Super Bowl, but I have them losing the Super Bowl.
Fuck.
To whom?
I don't know who can shut them down. We looked last season for every single excuse possible to shut them down, and they just didn't die.
Here's
When you have a
where I
team like
think,
that just doesn't go away, you can look for any excuse no matter what. Like, Mahomes isn't playing great. The defense isn't playing great. This guy, like, what's
Yeah,
the
and the
Kadarius Toney?
receivers
He's not
got
even there
upgraded
anymore,
this
I don't
year.
think. He's not making any catch. Like, they lose Tyreek Hill. They still win the Super Bowl the year they lose Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, right. She Rice is heading to jail, and they still got Xavier. They
drafted
traded
Xavier
with the
Worthy.
they traded with the Buffalo Bills to get Xavier Worthy.
There are teams that are capable of stopping them, and the Chiefs have not played those teams.
Here's where I think their weak point is. And this might be crazy, but it's their offensive line.
No, you have a point.
So
might be
Jawan Taylor, I like
The hold machine that is Jawan
the
Taylor.
hold machine, and they have a rookie starting at left tackle.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
that's trouble. That's
So,
trouble.
Again, it's the Chiefs. Let's be honest. 14-3 is where I project them to finish. But I think we're going to see a revolution, new era in terms of quarterback contracts because of the Mahomes deal. When you think about, they did the smartest thing humanly possible, and they signed him to a 10-year contract.
Yeah, and he can restructure it.
It was like a
every
$500
single
million
year.
deal, right?
He can
Yeah,
$500
he restructures
million
every single year.
He can
Yeah.
restructure every single stinking year if he can.
Yep.
He realistically could. Don't believe me? Chris Jones just got signed to $30+ million a year by the Chiefs. Okay? Chris Jones, who we can argue is one of the best defensive linemen in the entire league. Very good argument.
Yep.
They're going to sign Trent McDuffie, their slot corner, to a massive contract next offseason. Travis Kelce's due for a pay. Hopefully not, actually, due for another big payday by the Chiefs. Plus, they signed Hollywood Brown. Their receiving core, with the exception of Rashid Rice, was upgraded. Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy.
Yep.
Bombs away. Mm-hmm. Bombs away. And
Xavier Worthy and an Andy Reid offense is going to be
terrifying.
I'm afraid. I'm genuinely afraid to play against
We're not
that
in
guy.
there. Wait, we don't play them this year, right?
No, but
We do, right?
Jets don't. Here's their schedule. Week 1, Baltimore. Week 2, Cincinnati. They're both home games.
Hold.
Week 3, Atlanta. Week 4, at the
Oh,
Chargers.
thank God,
Week
Jack.
5.
We play the AFC East this year. Oh, thank God.
I was gonna say we play the Raiders, so I don't know.
Yeah, you play the Jets. Yeah.
Yeah, we play the Broncos. We play the AFC East this year. Oh,
Well-
thank God. Okay.
As biased as you might think this sounds, my prediction in the Super Bowl is the Rams beating the Chiefs.
We will, however, in three upcoming shows, after we do the North divisions, the next 2 episodes, we will gather a concoction of bullshit and stupidity. Yes, Ryan, you are invited to this nonsense. We will do a full-on NFL playoff prediction special. So that's going to have so much chaos.
I can't wait to join the nonsense and see which other BSers are going to be included.
Casey,
It doesn't.
it doesn't matter. It
The
doesn't matter
schedule
what you
is-
say. They're still going to fucking do
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
and the AFC West plays the NFC North this year.
Oh, for
Or it's the
God's
NFC
sakes.
South, excuse me,
Oh, my
NFC
Lord.
South, which is going to be
NFC
a complete
South, yeah.
crap show.
Actually,
No.
the NFC South might not be as bad as what people think they might be. The Falcons might be better than what we think they are. The Saints.
You know why?
The Saints just.
Kirk Cousins.
No, because Arthur Smith is no longer there.
That
He's
too,
now
that too.
So, yeah, Raheem
But
Morris
also-
has built up a huge culture too. They got
and
two
they just-
big signings and trades as
and they
well
just-
too. They got
and they
Johnny
just picked
Smith.
up
They
now-
got
and they just picked up Matthew Judon.
yeah, Judon. That's the guy.
The
I
New
couldn't
Orleans
think of.
Saints finished last season with its top 10 offense and top 10 defense. They still missed the playoffs. Tampa Bay is still pretty good. And we might disagree on this one. Carolina's going to get better. It
By
might
one
take them a
win?
little. It might take them a little bit. It might take them a little bit. I have hope in Dave Canales as the new head coach. They're going to get better. But no matter
I just
what we
want them to
say,
see. I want them to see it. I want them to see it. I want to see them get better protection for
Bryce Young.
for their quarterback, for Bryce Young.
We can probably all agree here that the NFL is trying to do anything humanly possible to get the most marketable team in the league for the next 10, 15 years, Kansas City, to win as many Super Bowls as possible until either Reed retires, which will be soon, or Mahomes somehow tears his legs. Which, let's be honest here, by the way they're going, they might break the Packers. They might break the Steelers and Patriots tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of another team that wins that. Like winning a Super Bowl is supposed to be hard, and these guys are doing it at the rate the Patriots were. They're making him at the rate the Patriots
Yeah,
were.
it's crazy. But we're gonna see all the conspiracy theories of the NFL is like the WWE, where it's like wrestling and booking everything. Like you will see this prediction a lot more, conspiracy theory come out more and more, because you see calls that benefit the Chiefs over and over and over again because the NFL is a marketing machine.
Yep, I saw it myself when the Chiefs played the Jets last year. The Jets had a chance to stop the Chiefs.
We saw it for
Third and 20. Was it third and 23?
Third and 25. I remember that.
Third and 25, and Taylor got away with a massive hold on Jermaine Johnson, and
Yeah.
Mahomes was allowed to run for a first down, and then there was that phantom holding call on
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner on
It's
an interception.
perennial dick sucking.
Yep.
It is the NFL perennial dick sucking of the Kansas City Chiefs. We saw
Into it.
we saw it for 15 to 20 years with the Patriots. We saw it for 10 years with the Cowboys. We saw it with Ryan probably did with the Niners in the 80s.
Until the Giants stopped them in 1991.
It continues to this day with teams like the Lions. Like you saw the Lions get away with that pass interference at the end of the Rams game.
Okay, but in
That's a makeup call for what
Detroit's
happened with the note.
In Detroit's defense, they've been a perennial dumpster fire for 30 freaking years.
Fair enough, but still, when they got good, they got marketed, and when they got marketed, it was like
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
it
market
also-
machine.
It also makes up for the Nola no call from a couple of years ago too.
Yeah, it also makes up for
well, the Rams won the Super Bowl to make up for that loss
and
anyway.
it's
So.
also James Bradbury should not have been called with that holding call in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. That was not a holding call.
See, that one I find a little bit less on the league and more on the player, because after the game, Bradbury literally said that he was hoping in that moment that the refs wouldn't see it.
Well, they also should have had the right turf on the field for that game.
Yeah,
that
was
whole
used.
field was a disaster.
I know what you're talking about, but when the player openly says, "Oh my God, I was hoping the refs wouldn't see that,"
Yeah,
Then, it's
good
like-
point. Good point with that. But Kansas City's going to bullshit their way to 14 wins. They're going to bullshit their way to the AFC Championship game, probably against the Ravens or the Bills or the Bengals.
Or the Jets.
Or the Jets, you never know. They're going to bullshit their way to a third straight Super Bowl appearance, and they're probably going to be the first team to three-peat in the Super Bowl era. Let's be honest here. With the exception of our teams, Jack, who in the NFC is going to beat the Chiefs?
You mean the Niners?
No.
So San Francisco is not doing shit.
No, you said outside your teams, but you're both teams.
Yeah, but
you're both fans of NFC West teams.
Yeah, he's asking who, but like he's asking who else, like in general, like who in the NFC has the capability this year to beat.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be honest. I think the Niners are too busy caught up in all this offseason drama, and this isn't the first time that they've had an offseason full of drama.
No, they're going to get more. More's coming with Trent Williams.
Since they've had Kyle Shanahan hired, their off seasons have just been chaotic as hell.
Yeah, Trent Williams is another one. Yeah,
it's just like a kind of. I feel like that's kind of like a bad culture sign. If that sort of thing keeps happening, people will say it's all like nice and dandy during the regular season, but when all these problems keep happening during the off season, at some point someone's got to get control of the situation. They're not going to have control of the situation for a while because. I'm sorry, I'm just going to finish real quick. It's just because like they like I've said earlier in the show, they've got to pay somebody so that Brock Purdy they've got to pay Brock Purdy, but if they don't pay Brock Purdy, that means like they're losing somebody. They have to lose somebody if they want to keep Brock Purdy. Otherwise, they lose Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
My question was, if Kyle Shanahan gets to another Super Bowl, loses another Super Bowl, and then the next year, God forbid, they go under 500, is he gone?
That would be funny.
That'd be hilarious.
Is he gone?
Probably.
Yeah, I would say so.
Probably.
I would say in that specific instance, yes, he's gone.
Okay.
Their cap situation is terrible anyway. So
if they somehow go under 500 this season, he's probably gone.
They won't go under 500 this year, but I'm thinking like down the line, maybe the next year or two. Yeah. But I mean,
anything can happen too. Like we said, the Rams would run it back, and they didn't run it back. So anything can happen.
No, they fell on their face.
They got injured back left and right. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that doesn't help. But my thinking of also in the AFC East with Sean McDermott and all the cap cuts they had on defense, Matt Milano tore his tricep in practice and joint. He's done He's done until at least December. They say he's optimistic he could come back in December.
Yeah, you're right.
But with all those hits they took on the defense because they had to pay Josh Allen. And because of that albatross of a contract from
Von Miller,
they had all those guys go. Plus, you sent Stephon Diggs over to Houston. Who do you got as your receiver besides Deion Coleman?
It's a lot easier to predict the AFC because a lot of the teams in the AFC are going to get better. The Jets are going to get better. The Dolphins probably are going to get better. The Bills are still there. The Bills are still there. Cincinnati's going to get better.
But going back to the Bills, my point is that my one hot take for the year in the AFC East is that if the Bills miss the playoffs, I think Sean McDermott's out of a job.
You might be onto something there.
I don't think that's that crazy of a take, but this feels more like a management thing.
It's not crazy, but at the same point, Buffalo is maybe a missed kick away from going to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
They're also a stop drive. They're also 13 seconds away from going to the Super Bowl the year before.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
2 years before because they lost to the Bengals the year after that.
If you look at the Bills, I know this is the AFC West, but if you look at the Bills, they and along with maybe two other teams in the AFC have the best possible chance. The only team that is going to beat Kansas City is someone in the AFC or themselves. That's probably the only realistic option. Right?
Yeah.
I think the Rams can do it. I really do. But they don't play each other in the regular season this year, so...
We shall see. Thankfully, we
have to
are in
see if
mid-August. Thankfully, we're in mid-August, and we've been doing this for an hour and 50 minutes. Holy shit. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have fun. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this edition of Time to BS with Staniel Smooth. Jack, as per usual, thank you for joining in the Department of Bullshit. Our thanks to Ryan McCarthy of No Credentials Required for joining in the nonsense of stupidity. Where can they find your show, bro?
You can find my show, No Credentials Required. My co-host Dustin and I, we are on a brief hiatus until next week, but we'll start cranking out episodes again. But you can find No Credentials Required on any podcast platform: Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Good Pods, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, whichever podcast platform you are on. You can find us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram. I don't call it X. Twitter and Instagram at NoCredsREQ. Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ. YouTube.com/ at NoCredsREQ. Staniel, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And Jack, it was great meeting you, bud.
As always.
Hope to be here.
Great pleasure.
So
hope to be back again soon.
Yeah, that'll do it for this edition
as
of Time
always,
to
and it's the
BS.
first time.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So that'll do it for this edition of Time to BS with Staniel Smooth. I'm coming in from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York, and I will see you all in this life and most certainly the next one. Cheers, guys.